So what's up YouTube? What's up Twitch chat? Second league of the day. Trying out Lore and Revealed. We just spent a solid 20 minutes searching through Modern, trying to find a card that like offered some sort of card advantage late and did something early. Turns out there's not a lot of good options. So we're going to give Lore and Revealed a try. We definitely played the card a few times when it first came out. Fell off pretty quickly, but I'm hoping that it covers this gap that I've been having trouble with of not seeing like the third, fourth land when I want to see them and having something to do with my mana when I don't. So we'll see how that ends up playing out for us. The rest of the main deck, we just ran a league with 4 Murktide, 4 Frog, felt pretty good. So hopefully the Lore and Revealed's help to power out these Murktides. And yeah, that's about all I got. Want to do more of an intro, so let's hop in. Take 2 on Dimir cards I feel like casting. Yeah, the options are absolutely terrible for draw effects. When you start looking at Sauron's Ransom and you're just like, oh, this is the most busted thing we've got. You know your options are limited. Dude, don't make me miss Get Probe more than I already do. I know Get Probe was miserable to play against when your opponent was on like an all-in combo deck and just knew it was safe. But oh, playing Shadow and being able to just pay 2 life to look. And redraw. And redraw. So good. That looks reasonable, right? We can pitch it to force. Got a frog. We have the land, so we don't have to cycle it if we don't want to. Wise combo. It's sorted for blue. We could do Aether Spellbomb. Aether Spellbomb is good. It's a little unfortunate that it doesn't play very well with Murktide. So you'd probably have to like only run 3 Murktide. But I like where your head's at. Well, actually, no, it doesn't really have like the late game card advantage element, which is something that I wanted. Goose. Opponent's down to 3 cards. If I just attack with Frog, it's like a pretty easy block with Cauldron Familiar. So I kind of want to fly this Frog. See if opponent wants to block with their Goose. I think I'd be pretty okay with like throw a card into the Frog, kill the Goose, and then Fatal Push the wall. Do this, we might as well. Your cards in the yard. Aren't they like 90% creatures? They do have like Green Sun Zenith and Chord of Calling. So I don't want to just all out like go after the creatures and completely disregard the tutors. That's kind of a dick move. I thought we were getting along here. This is just like the bastardized middleman where it's like, well, technically that's not a creature. Got an insect. I wonder if I'm going to have a game where I get to like kill because I drew 3 cards off of Lorien Revealed with the frog. Nope. Belgian Familiar Numero Dos. Aha. Aha. Ah. All creatures, he says. All creatures, he says. Kind of surprised they're not going for the cord into turn there. Like, you clearly showed me you have a cord. Not showed me, but you have a Green Suns and a cord. So I can force this. You can't cord. Said optimistically. All right. Hit you for 7. Pass the turn. Counterspell everything you know and love and hold dear in this world. See this thing that you're tapping mana for right now that you know and love and hold dear in this world? I'm going to counterspell it. Nobody loves Court of Calling decks. Court of Calling is an abomination. Convince me otherwise. I know I want Stern Scolding. I know I want Blood Chief's Thirst. Nihil Spellbomb's fine. I don't hate Minor Misstep. Like, countering Cat sucks, but you've got Halfling, I assume. Viscera Seer. They could have Veil of Summer, Fatal Push out of the sideboard. I'll probably just wait until I see those things. A lot of fetches for a 3 Lorien Revealed deck. How do we know how many fetches is too many for a Lorien Revealed deck? Is there like a successful Lorien Revealed deck going around? Vibes, bro. Argue with that. Successful Lorien Revealed deck. Trust, bro. www.lorienrevealedtofetchlandmath.com. You didn't see my thesis on Lorien Revealed to Fetchland correlations? I have a doctorate in this shit. Do I look like a joke to you? College to learn this math. Spent 4 years as a postdoc at Harvard to learn Lorien Revealed math. You think you can just throw it around? This is how it feels like to play competitive Magic at a large tournament. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't really want them just getting a free block here. Sorry, opponent. I didn't realize. I apologize. Thought I was the only one playing Abrupt Decay in 2025. Second. So ready for that to be second copy of Abrupt Decay. Grist. All right. Bound and determined to hard cast this Lorien Revealed. I don't know if it's going to do anything for me, but absolutely not. Get out of here. I wish Cryptic Command wasn't just 1 mana. I wish Cryptic Command was 1 mana so that I could play it. But unfortunately, the only Cryptic Command I recognize around these parts is 4. Hard cast Grist. I despise the... They did show us Veil of Summer, though. I don't think there was, like, much of anything I wanted to hit with Bowmaster. The one of. Yeah, Veil of Summer's a stupid Magic card. Why anybody thought that was like a good thing to print, I have no idea. And I will like die on the hill that the only reason it hasn't been banned yet is because every time it would get close, something gets printed that's just more oppressive. But that doesn't make Veil of Summer like any less ban worthy. I'd also love to know how many like banned magic decks have gone through this cycle of like, do I just want to respond to this with Bowmaster the Safekeeper? Is that legit take? That's absolutely legit take. Like, how many decks have gone through the cycle of getting banned that had Veil of Summer as just like a way to punish anything from interacting in any sort of profitable way? Like the Uro decks and the Nadu decks and Breach and like it is the best protection spell ever. Not even close. We have Misstep back. You don't want me to go down the Misstep rabbit hole. I'm going to counter this. Hope they don't have a Veil of Summer right here, but if they're having mana troubles, then I kind of like not giving them another goose. Young Wolf. If you get Misstep back, then I get to play my 4 Misstep. Well, it's a risk I'm willing to take. It's like, I already have the hot take with Misstep that I think it just becomes like a self-correcting loop where there's so many diversified like CMCs and things in Modern right now that eventually Misstep will just become less prominent because people will diversify away from 1 mana interaction or 1 mana spells, and then Misstep just naturally gets worse because of that. I remember when we had Misstep in Legacy, there were a ton of viable decks and they all had 4 Misstep. That's usually how it is. Like, people get caught up on this idea that I don't want to play Misstep because I play Misstep and you play Misstep and everybody's just misstepping other missteps. And it's like, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. Like, you don't want Misstep to impact you, then play less 1-drops. Then you don't have to play Misstep to fight other missteps. And their missteps are just dead. But get probe. Can't keep changing the topic. No block on the orc army. Oop. Like, I don't know. I just think that in a world full of like Murktide and Solitude and Overlord of the Bale Merc and all this sort of stuff, that like Mental Misstep probably just isn't as impactful as it used to be. My hot take. World of Leyline bindings and Scion of Draco, Flage, Voice of Victory, Psychic Frog, Goblin Bombardment. What else? Days would be so fun in Modern. I think Days would be pretty balanced, honestly. Obviously, Psychic Frog decks would go crazy for it. But I don't think anything that's like super punishing is playing Days. Like, I don't think Boros is splashing blue to play Days. I guess technically they could, but I don't think they would. Days is pretty rough with Shocklands. As somebody who's played a lot of Legacy Shadow with Shocklands, not the worst. Something more. I say look for something more proactive. Hey, look, functional mana. On control now, switching it up from Shadow. I haven't played a ton of Shadow lately. Played a couple leagues last week or the week before, just trying out some Rakdos brew. These days, all I see on stream is people getting turn 1 by Storm. Oops. That checks out. Look at this uncounterable land drop we got. Or do you want? Imagine going for a preordain and they bowmaster me. Have you heard the greater area is getting a new TCG shop? You're talking to me? I have not heard such a thing. I think I'm going to stubborn denial this. Save my push in case they have another copy of Frog. I don't think I want to push again. Then if they have another Frog, just kind of be like stuck in hand. Doomsday is the funniest. Dude, I can't imagine Doomsday staring down a crab like, oh shit, now what? What do I do? I wasn't expecting a crab here. Doomsday as a search. Oof. Oh, you're good. Like, everybody knows that I'm Mississippi or South Mississippi. But I had not heard of a new store opening. Where at? Six. One up TCG in Flowwood. So, like, one up from Hattiesburg. Or completely new. Archmage's Charm. I think he means the name is one up. Yeah, there was a one up. I think it was called one up in Hattiesburg. For the most random locations, Hattiesburg, Mendenhall, Tuscaloosa, and now Flowwood. I didn't even realize they had multiple locations. I didn't realize that was all the same. Interesting. Tuscaloosa is a college town, yeah. But I wouldn't think it would be like big enough for multiple shops. It's not a big town. Tide's putting in work. That 4 Murktide's looking real good right here. As we race to who's going to play the first Merc. Resolve the first Merc. Show me just a hand of like... Alright. So we get the first Murktide if we want it. They do get a bigger Murktide. I don't think I'm passing up a chance to at least resolve one. Oh. Oh. So few answers to a Murktide, so having one top decked on you just feels awful. So I might as well just play out a Murktide here. A counter spell. I need to top deck a way to answer their Murktide. Too many. Too many. The idea was to run 4 Murktide Regent. Crazy to cut a Murktide. Congratulations, it's triplets. Actually, it was quadruplets. Because we did have one in the graveyard as well. Or one in exile. Go Murktide's the deck where you do everything right and lose. That's pretty accurate. Like, it's definitely the deck where you're gonna have some number of games that your opponent just, like, top decks the thing the turn you can't deal with the thing. And that happens, like, not all the time, but Murktide is just like a deck that at some point in the game, you have to move from defense to offense. Like, you have to start attacking. You win the game by attacking, so you have to flip that switch at some point. And that means there's always going to be like an opening there for something to go wrong. You have all the answers so you just don't lose. Pretty accurate. Or you have an answer that just doesn't quite line up the right way and you lose because of it. Those are usually the worst in my experience, where it's like, okay, I've got spell snare, counter spell, force and negation in my hand, and my opponent just goes like, start with an Orum's chant. Okay, well, I have to interact with that, and then fires off like some wrath effect because you had to interact with the Orum's chant with like force, discard something. Those are usually where it gets really weird, really dicey. Get them to use up something here. A lot of times, though, the mirror is actually decided by like who does a better job on their opponent's instep, which is kind of funny. Like who had something better to do when their opponent tapped out or when their opponent like didn't want to use mana. Do they have the subtlety here? It's been a while since I've played Archmage's Charm, and I don't actually hate how it looks here. Is there any world where we're ninjutsuing a Murktide Regent? I know when I played against Yendrick in the content creator showdown, I think that entire game was decided by just like a 4-4 Murktide. Frogs are in fact covered. The subtlety. Okay. Is this a Kaito on their end? Gotta be what? Oh no, never mind. Mirror cards you like in No Shadow. Mirror cards I like doesn't necessarily mean playing a bunch of cards that are just throwing away play points. Good opponent giving me a card off there. Or like not making me discard. I feel like this has been just the same generation of fly in here for the last like week. It's been one single fly that's like found its way in and wants to hover right in this general area. I don't think he recognizes that he's not welcome. Literally crawling on the microphone. Get him. Mm. Sure. Anything you're excited to try in Final Fantasy? Um, I know I'm gonna try out Cecil. I think Cecil looks kind of cool and different. Um, and I know at some point I'm gonna try out that 3 mana. I think it's like a 1/4, 2/4 or something that draws whenever you cycle or whenever you surveil or scry. Um, that one's cool. No, not the Yawgmoth's Will one. That one I'm kind of against because the 14 card requirement is pretty significant. But let me see if I can find it. Spoilers again. I haven't looked at any of this stuff since like yesterday. Like Matoya or something. Yeah, that one. It was like fetching up a surveil draws you a card. Preordain, consider both draw your cards. Can unearth it. I don't think you want it in like a fair is it style shell. I think you want to cheat it into play. So being able to like unearth it into a surveil plus draw is pretty cool. But like by the time you get to 4 mana, not really as effective. But I think it could be cool in like the Oculus shell if you're on preordained consider something. Force negation. Master resolves. I mean, a bowmaster of your own. Sure. I could respond to that with Bowmaster, but I think I'm kind of fine with it. When it plays out of Springs, a really good draw. What does play out of Soporific Springs tell me? What do you need 6 mana for? Subtlety plus counterspell, I guess. Sure. Definitely like not letting you have a free go with your Bowmaster. So it was counterspell subtlety. So if I just take their Bowmaster, go for Fatal Push. See if this gets a counterspell. Or if they just want to wait for subtlety. All right, so now we can Fatal Push. I think I want to shock in here. Zero Kaito. Pass. Probably could have just emblemed last turn. I don't hate setting up the draw though. Bring some dead stuff off the top. Spell Snare, Subtlety, Unknown, Unknown. Spell Snare, Subtlety. Known. This is actually really bad if their unknown card is a Bowmaster. Now it's not. But go Kaito at Kaito. Bowmaster and token at them. I can just play a FrogTide here. They want to subtlety this, that's fine. They lose the subtlety and another card out of hand. Still have to deal with the board. Nice. Kaito. Kaito being an absolute menace in the mirror. Opponent last seen 14 days ago on Affinity. Well, if they've got a double saga opener, probably not winning this game one. First thing I always look at whenever I see a list like this, especially in an open deck list event, is if they have an Aether Spell Bomb. Because if they don't, like, just going all in on a frog is pretty fantastic. Portable Hole makes it a little bit worse, but... Go ahead and kill this Tameo. Can't have, like, Metallic Rebuke. Metallic Rebuke. A Cannoneer. Pretty good one. They've got to be sitting on a Kappa Cannoneer, right? Like, no other reason to not crack these at some point. All right. First hard cast Lorien reveal of the day. Maybe not. I will just go for it. All right, that felt kind of good. All right, 100% success rate with casting Lorien revealed and opponent scooping the following turn. I'm not saying if causation, I am saying positive correlation. Got Thought Monitor too. Stern Scolding looks better. Minor Misstep hits Mox's, Bobble, Tormod's Crypt, Spell Bomb, Lava Spur Boots, Pithing Needle, Portable Hole, Tameo, Shadow Spear, Soul Guide, Dispatch. Dispatch is kind of cool. I don't know how many of these cards I can afford to take out. Spell Snare is like completely dead. Don't really hate dropping a bunch of Thought Seizes. Dub's probably pretty mediocre since they can just go in on the Saga plan. The good old lose horribly to an early Tameo or Emery. Have game into Saga. Got it. Honestly, much less scary than other options they could have gone with. Good at drawing Undercity. All right, so if opponent has got Metallic Rebuke. Think we just sort of lose. I guess we get like a draw step to maybe find a Blood Chief's Thirst. We have Citadel. Just rebuy. No, they can't rebuy with force. Hold up. Hold up. All right. No Tameo ult just yet. You need some more gas in the tank. Oh my god. Ooh. Feeling hot, hot, hot. That you're not. Have the Kappa. All right. Back to not feeling hot anymore. Like middling amounts of hot, like lukewarm-ish. They can't make white mana. They're just playing as just another Kappa Cannoneer. We might have this. Five. The opponent needs 2 artifacts to enter the battlefield. And we've got 2 counters. I have no idea what I'm supposed to fight over. Like they need 3 artifacts, which Thoughtcast is technically not one. So I kind of feel like I let this go. But Tameo, they could have Tameo and that kills me. Okay, we're fighting the good fight. All right. I still don't know if countering the thought gas has got to be right because they didn't play an artifact last turn. So there's a reasonable chance that their hand is just like maybe a saga, um, something white like a portable hole, maybe two portable holes, maybe another dispatch. No, I'm honestly not sure what their hand would be. Like, what would they not play unless they were trying to sandbag an artifact to try to make sure they got the Kappa trigger? I can see that. When it last seen 18 days ago on mono red Prowess. Free steel. Rin's Resolve, light up the stage. Bolt Wave. Wonder how much not having expressive iteration hurts. That's even what they're on here. Whole second main phase Monastery Swift Spear, eh? Take one. See if we can stop them from having a explosive turn. Want to just play out a frog? Try to get a surveil land and wait for Murktide. If it is this same deck or something close to it, they do have a lot of reach with 4 Bolt Wave, 4 Lava Spike. So it's like closer to burn than it is Prowess. This list didn't have green, so That's quite what I want. That, however, is juicy FrogTide indeed. All right, what you got? Hopefully not a way to kill the FrogTide. Looks like they're flooding out a little bit. Lay this out and go ahead and hit the yard just to make sure this is a 2-turn clock. I could like hit with the FrogTide and play the frog, play the frog like second combat and exile if they go to remove the frog. It affects things too much. Dragon's Rage Channeler, so I'm assuming some number of like Unholy Heat in the 75. I feel like that's a reasonable guess to make, that if you see Dragon's Rage Channeler, even if you don't see Mishra's Bauble, that there's probably Unholy Heats. Unless it's like Aspiring Spite, Ruby Storm with Channeler. I don't think he's playing Unholy Heat, but be wrong. Opponent's on a mulligan. Pretty inclined to join them. I do have an answer to a Quarry Steel on the draw. We're going to roll with it. I have an answer to a Quarry Steel into like a potential frog discard. They don't have any Surveil lands in their deck. Seems kind of crazy to me. Sure. All right. Now, do I want to frog? I could like frog, have 3 to discard, say sink, third land or fourth land, and have Stubborn Denial available. I hate that. Also makes it so that I'm pretty likely to have FrogTide next turn. Eat the beast. Bobble, bobble. Oh man, blue black again. The community demands a martyr stream. Well, I don't know what community that is because this was literally voted on. I ran a democracy approach. And they voted. You're going to have to take it up with the community. My community. Hashtag I didn't vote for that. Opponent does have an unholy heat. You think they have second copy of unholy heat? Oh boy. I could ditch 2 and save the frog unless they have a lava dart or a lightning bolt. But I would be losing Murktide Regent Counterspell. This is currently a 6/6 Murktide, but I would not have Counterspell available. I could just ditch Counterspell and have a 7/7 Murktide. We're going to leave it up to fate. Heads, we ditch the Murktide and the Counterspell. Tails, we let the frog die. Heads, throw it away. Tails, frog dies. Heads. Gods have spoken. Gods have failed me. Gods have let me down. These are the moments I look at whenever I'm in Discord and people are like, ah, they just can't answer a big frog or a Murktide. Clearly, they can. Not that it was easy for them to, but definitely did. Abundant harvest. What's better, heat in modern or torch in standard? I would say heat in modern. Like standard torch is definitely good in standard, but you just have a lot more situations where like the game's not ending right then and there. In modern, heat just kind of like completely gets rid of the thing you need to get rid of. And usually that's like the game ending thing. Like heat being able to hit a primeval titan is ridiculous. One mana kill a titan. You fly, go away. Literally right in my eye. Alright, if you got Bolt plus another red removal spell. Looks like they're just going upstairs. Yep. Okay, so could have killed the Murktide. Decided not to. Answer a questing druid, but I can't really answer the follow up. Third copy of questing druid. At least now I know what they're splashing for. Master looks a little bit better, knowing that they've got a 1/1 questing druid. They've got crash through. Like this. Like in 3 Lorien seems too much to me. Well, I mean, this is the first time I've tried it since Lorien Revealed came out, so I would rather play more and see them than play like one and just never see it and never have an opinion. But it's been reasonable so far. I can't like say, oh, it's been bad. Draw. I guess we have to respect Corey Steel Cutter. much as I don't want to. Speak of the devil. Like, we're agreeing that Lorien revealed looked pretty good right here, right? Like finding the land, buffing Murktide to a 7/7. Like that was a really good Lorien reveal. Fighting over this because I don't want them to have a follow-up like Lava Dart to kill my Murktide. But if they just have another Unholy Heat and another red removal spell. Like, what are you supposed to do in those spots? Just, hey, here's multiple Unholy Heats plus another removal spell. GLHF. You considered playing cards you don't like in the deck? Why would I play cards I don't like? Seems counterproductive. Magic not a game to have fun? Alright, so if I attack him with Frog, have to fly it. They're going to be able to just Lava Dart to trade with the Soul Scar, which I guess wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world. Or is your last card another Lightning Bolt? Dude. Gotta get on your level. Frog is deceased. Please, in the name of all things just and holy, do not top deck an Unholy Heat. Kind of shocked that that worked. think I'm counterspelling like pretty decent chunk of cards here. Okay, all down to the wire. Use up my counter spells as I can because I can't take them with me to game 4. It's another lava dart from hand. So that's fine. Flashback double dart doesn't kill me, and the Murktide's still lethal. I don't have to care about the lava darts. Yep. All I care about is that last card in hand. All right. And clearly it makes me be on the play more. Like, look at this. This is fantastic. This is a god tier Lorien revealed. Cycle it and then just have Frog plus Force up. Literally, what more do you want out of a Lorien revealed? Like, opponent thinks they're being cheeky by not playing something out into my spell. Much nicer when the cycles can say Surveil these days too. Yeah, we cycled up a Surveil land against the Mirror. Do I have to play fucking Orzhov for the trophy? You're not a real deck. Go away. Like, tell me there is not foul play at work when we haven't seen Orzhov in like 3 days. And now I'm playing for the trophy and Orzhov shows up. Just out of nowhere, here's Orzhov. And it's an opponent that's 2-1. It's not another like 4-0 opponent or 3-1. It's a 2-1 opponent. It happens to be on the worst matchup in all of Modern for me. Make it make sense. Well, we haven't died yet, but it's not looking good. Their hand sucks. Maybe we top deck a frog. Maybe they don't top deck a an overlord. Maybe they can be nice and top deck an emperor. Full cost witch enchanter. Go, go, power frog, go. Mighty Morphin Power Froggo. Yes. By all means, take what you would like. Help us, Froggy 1, your only hope. Froggy 1 Kenobi. Alright, so opponent's going for the Ephemerate. We are going to Stubborn Denial because their last card is this Marsh Flats that we know about. So I'm not going to give them 2 free draws. And we don't need that much damage. Because we do have the frog trick with Ketramose. So just like 2 attacks in, and we're pretty close. I think I'll take the Surveil. Oh god. Or Mardu. What? Aya Orzhov Usurper. Yeah, I think they play Flage. I could also just exile the or bounce the Ketramose. This can't hit Psychic Frog. They can tick up on their own yard and gain 2 life. It used to be good in Shadow Mirrors. It did used to be good in Shadow Mirrors. Okay. I think I just have to attack in no no jump. So I can hit him down to 7, but hitting him to 7 doesn't really do anything for me. I need to like Yeah. I need to get an attack or two into them without getting Ketramose online. One, two, three, four, 9. Still not enough. I remember when like the Orzhov trade binder decks were everywhere. And or not everywhere, but they'd show up from time to time. And they were a menace with Kaya for any of the shadow decks. Okay. I know I'm asking for a lot. I need a brick out of you. 1 brick right here. You have the removal spell. Please just cast the removal spell if you have it. The not knowing is worse than anything. Okay. We're going to pass to your upkeep. At which point I would like you to draw a card. And then I would like you to draw a card. Then if you do anything, I would like you to draw some more cards. Why is it Orzhov? Why does it have to be Orzhov for the trophy? Or Mardu? Whatever the hell they are. No more hold indeed. To earn it. I don't want to earn it. I want to be given a free trophy. Don't make me earn it. All right. Opponent kept 7. I do not currently have an answer to an Overlord. But I do have an Orcish Bowmaster, which could turn into a Ninjutsu Kaito. Also pretty good into Ketramose, especially with Frog. All these years later, I still hate the Solitude decks. Same. Same, fam. Same. They're so miserable. I kept a card on top. Last game, they definitely just like jammed a Ketramose. Did not care about open mana at all. Solitude Ephemerate hand. Could very well be. Could very well be. Well, even Interrupter hand. By all means, push the Bowman. Fetched again. Or should have I considered again? So I've got to pay 4 mana if I want to cast the Bowmaster from exile. Well, 2x. No, you're right. It's plotted, isn't it? Bruh. Punished. Bowmasters. So little time. It gets back a Flicker Wisp, which is okay with me because I got the Thought Seize. Oh, can you only cast plotted things on your own turn? Lame. Oh boy. You fetch land like 12 turns ago. Sorcery speed. Dude, the restrictions just keep compiling. I don't think I can cast Seize the turn it's plotted, right? I have to wait until the next turn. I'm going to understand like some of the plot restrictions and not some of the others. Okay, well, I kind of messed up this game pretty badly by not knowing like the timing or anything on plot. I could have played out a frog earlier and didn't. I could have dug to try to interact with the interrupter and didn't. They kind of got everything in the world now. Not firing that third consider, yeah. Like, I just didn't think about plot only being sorcery speed on my turn. And it definitely compounded from there. Know how to play versus plot now. How can we lose? Very easily. Very, very easily. All right. We have a hope. Please no more lands, deck. I beg of thee. All right, step one, hit opponent with a Kaito. Step two, pray. Pray to the Elden gods. And I'm not asking for much. Just please, in the name of all things just and holy, put a Ketramose on the battlefield. Hell yeah. Sweet. There's a long list of cards I don't particularly care about at this moment, and Ketramose is pretty up there. Like, I get the theory, but I don't believe this is helping you as much as you want it to. I'm going to save that for Revolt just in case. Can I kill here? Stun, attack for 3, put him to 5. No. All right. My stun. I think I'm sinking to stupor. No, maybe I am stun. Because they'd have to use an ephemerate to unlock the Ketramose. That's like more life lost. I'm just trying to set up for like a frog burnout next turn. So they've got an ephemerate. Anything change if I go for the sink now into ephemerate? They lose an extra life. If for some reason they don't have ephemerate, I've got like that's pretty good. Why wouldn't they just vindicate on their turn? How do we attack now? Listen, one step at a time. Well, they're not going to pass the ephemerate. There's like no reason for them to. Especially when they're at 4 life or whatever. Kaito die if he goes to 0 loyalty while being a creature. That I actually have no idea. I would assume he does. Kaito's second ability causes him to stop being a planeswalker during your turn as long as he has at least 1 loyalty counter on him. Yeah. I don't really care about Flicker Wisp or the Aven Interrupters, so I think I'm taking the Vindicate. I could... Like, is it worth just stunning down the Kaito and or stunning down the Ketramose and giving up Kaito? Play Frog, they play Interrupter. I Stern Scolding. No, I can't because they would have Overlord Flicker Wisp. See what's on top. That's really good, but I can't draw into it right this second. Let's see. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still not lethal damage. I could tick up Kaito and attack. That doesn't really do anything. I guess I have to... I think I have to just stun the Ketramose. I think my only out is stun the Ketramose, play Frog, Stern Scolding, the Aven Interrupter, pass, Overlord's got a whiff, and Flicker Wisp Overlord has to whiff. Oh, man. I don't even know what I could surveil into. Surveil over. I think the sync turned you wrong. You mean like instead of, or should have stunned the Ketramose the second time? That could have been the case. And like I said, Pony just chooses not to rebound. Can't block and like push my own frog. I think my out is opponent like hard casting the Overlord and bricking. We're going to make them draw like 5 cards. Technically, they could brick. With Aven Interrupter. Dang. So what was the sync turn was we sunk the first Ketramose. I think what I probably should have done was I sank the Ketramose and zeroed the Kaito. I probably should have just kept ticking up. And I would have ended up doing like 3 or 4 more damage. Sunken set of stun, +1 Kaito hit. I don't think the sync instead of stun changes anything. Because either way, like, they replay the Kaito, and if they have the Ephemerate, they just blank a stun anyway. So I think it's actually better to stun or better to sync if they're tapped out. Ephemerate in response killed me. Ephemerate in response. Well, we kind of knew they had the Ephemerate. They were definitely playing like it. And I couldn't play around it. I wouldn't say that killed me. I think it was not sinking and ticking up and just giving like the fewest amount of draws possible. Because I think once the Ketramose is on the battlefield, like, it doesn't really matter what I draw into. I'm not dealing with the Ketramose. So I just need to like try to get the game over with before they're attacking back with it. But anyway, Lauren revealed looked pretty good. It's gotta pay out the non-believers before I forget. Lorien revealed looked solid. The 4 Murktide. I think I'm probably going back to 3. 4 felt like a lot really, really often. So I think I'm going to go back to 3 Murktide. Keep trying out the 3 Lorien revealed until I decide I just like it or not. Rest of the deck was okay. Drown, definitely a little sus. Spell Snare was fine. Just a rough matchup to run into at the end of a league.